dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side. This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge FM. I am R. Scott Bolton. I am the Backseat Mogul, and this is the show where we talk about show business. Sitting over there to my right, none other than Johnny D. Johnny, good morning, sir.
Hi, Scotty. Wait a minute. If I did this, hi, Scotty, that doesn't work.
That does. See, it looks.
Hi,
it looks
Scotty.
like you're looking at me. Yeah, because our images are mirrored. Oh, let me give some glory to the face there. There we go, folks. Welcome in. Sorry for that rough intro. We still have issues with our stream deck. We've tried all the solutions on the internet, and it still just crashes on us. We don't know what's going on with it, but I wish Stream Deck would fix it. We're not the only ones having the problem, so there's a problem that's there, and it makes our show a little rougher. But thank you for hanging in there, especially when I had to do an impromptu commercial for our friends at the Harbor Cove Cafe.
Well, that is why we are called Rough Edge Studios.
It might be part of it. It might be part of it. So I want to start the show off today by giving congratulations to our friend Kyle Acosta. Kyle has won the Independent Filmmakers Guild of America Award for Best Direction for his feature, The Duke. So I put that up there for those of you who are watching. For those of you who are just listening, Kyle posted that award and said, "I am so incredibly proud and speechless to have been awarded this by the IFGA. Thank you so much again for the honor and consideration for the Duke." And I haven't seen the Duke yet.
No,
we have to find out from him because his previous movie is available on Amazon. I'm assuming that the Duke will be soon if it's not already. So it's probably making the festival round, and then it can't be on one of those networks. So
congratulations, Kyle.
Yeah, that's nice work. Excellent work, my friend. So well-deserved. And I like Kyle because he's a maverick. He's one of those guys who makes movies because, damn it, he wants to make a movie. And he does it, and he gets it done. And it ticks off some people, kind of like Francis Ford Coppola does when he's demanding things. My son said he loves Kyle, but he said he'd probably never make another movie with him because he was in a movie that he was in, and he said it was a little rough. Not that Kyle's rough or anything. It's just that, it's a guy trying to get a film made, and you're shooting at 3 a.m. because that's the only time everybody can be together.
We've been there.
Oh yeah. So anyway, congratulations again to Kyle, and his film is The Duke. And I will get some information, folks, about where you can see it. Then you can check out Kyle's film, because it's pretty amazing what he does with a shoestring budget and his cast and crew all on his own. He finances it himself. He gets it all going on that way. So more power to Kyle Acosta. Wanted to start off with that was pretty good news.
I'll tell you what, Kyle, if I win tonight's lottery, the big one, I will dump some money into your next film project,
which he's already working on the next film.
Well,
so
we'll find out tomorrow whether I'm dumping money into your project.
I love John's confidence, but I hate to break it to you, sir. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But you know what? Keep the confidence up.
Yeah.
Because you can't win unless you play. And there's been a lot of winners in California. You know that winner of that big super lotto for like close to $1 billion that was in Fraser Park still hasn't come forward.
Wow.
We were up there at a pastry shop right next door to that liquor store where they sold that ticket. And I found this piece of paper in the grass. And I was just going to pick it up and throw it away because it didn't belong there, right? And I picked it up and I went, "Oh, this will be funny." So I went inside and I told my wife, who was getting pastries, I said, "Hey, you know how that winner of that ticket hasn't come in?" She's all, "Yeah." I go, "I just found this ticket out in the parking lot." She's all, "No, you didn't." I go, "Yeah, I don't know if it's a ticket or not, but what if it is? What if it's the ticket? They lost it." She's all, "It was just a piece of trash." But
wait. You pulled that on your wife and you're still walking around?
So, see, that wasn't, if I do something to her, like, how when you're with your friends and you're driving down the road, freeway usually, and your friend falls asleep next to you, what do you do when your friend's asleep? Everybody gets together, they slam on the brakes and they scream, "Oh!" And he wakes up terrified because he thinks he's going to crash. I did that to my wife once. He did not find it amusing. So
Did you ever pull a what used to be called a Chinese fire drill?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know why.
I've heard of it too, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know why it was called that, but I can remember we were all in the car. My mom was driving, and she pulls up to a stop sign and yells, "Chinese fire drill!"
Oh,
Jumps out of the car. Everybody who knows what it is jumps out of the car.
that's right.
And they run around the car, jump back in, and then go.
Yeah.
I don't know where they got the name Chinese fire drill, but
Who knows?
It's so funny.
Yeah. That's really dangerous, especially on the freeway.
Oh, well, that's why I said you pulled up to a stop.
I know.
Stop sign or stop light, one or the other.
One or
But
the other.
no, yeah.
That's weird little things there.
Anyway, no, I'm very, very happy for Kyle.
Yeah, he's deserved it. That guy works hard, and like I said, he is a true filmmaker. He's making movies because he has to. It's in his blood.
Kyle, if you still have the same connections you used to have at your old theater, maybe you can talk them into Aaron to showing The Duke when it's available for theaters.
Yeah, we'll see.
That
We'll
would
see.
be so
like I said, I
cool.
think it's making the film festival circuit right now, and he's won many awards with it already. But I don't know that it's available on Amazon or somewhere else to watch yet, probably because it can't be if it's on the festival circuit.
You know, it's funny. The Duke, I actually have a 12-inch G.I. Joe doll still in the package that says The Duke.
You really need to sell that.
As soon as it gets up to where I'm hoping it's going to get up to, I have
Okay, you definitely get millions for it, John.
Well, no, that would be cool. I have a total of 3 12-inch G.I. Joe dolls. One of them, like I said, is the Duke. Another one is, no, I have 4. I forgot. One of them is
You said 12-inch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because the 3-inch is worthless.
Yeah. One of them is, like I said, the Duke. One of them is a Tuskegee Airman.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. One of them is it's a Christmas edition that I think came out in the 90s, and it's of a Army or Marine guy who is home for the holidays. You know, he's dressed in his coat, cold weather coat, and has his duffel bag with him. And the 4th one I have, which I really am.
Did we ask for a list? I don't believe. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, this 4th one I'm really hoping will really skyrocket, and that's my Audie Murphy G.I. Joe doll.
The Duke is worth anywhere from $25 to $300.
Wow. So
it's there somewhere, but actually that $25 is a different one. So it's more like $70 to $300. So
wow.
that's worth something right now. Let's see about Audie Murphy. This is like we do on the Backseat on the anime show, looking up Pokemon cards. Okay, so Audie Murphy. Let's see what that says. That one's selling for, well, there's just they don't give me a list this time. Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. $111 on eBay right now.
Wow.
So anyway, they're there. So yeah, sell those. Buy me drinks.
Cool. Anyway, congratulations, Kyle.
Yes, nice work, Kyle. Very, very, very proud of you, man. And I do appreciate your maverick filmmaking style. So Thursday night, I met my son out in Valencia at the Valencia theater there, the Regal, and their incredible IMAX screen. And we saw Dune Part Two. And I got to tell you that the presentation at that theater, I mean, it's not cheap. It costs us $25 a ticket to go see Dune Part Two in IMAX, but pay it. It's worth it. It turns a movie into an event. It's something that you're part of when you're watching it on IMAX screen. And it has something to do, of course, with the 30, 40 foot screen that's in front of you. But it also has to do with the sound. The sound quality is stunning. I mean, when a sandworm is cruising by on the screen, you feel the earth shake. You feel the sound go from left to right, and it moves because the sound quality is it just really draws you into a movie. Now, this movie in particular, that's not surprising because Dune Part Two is stunning. It is an amazing movie. The first one that Denis Villeneuve did, that's how I heard he pronounced his name, Denis instead of Dennis. I always thought it was Dennis, but I heard Denis. Anyway, it was a good movie, but there was a lot of setup in it, and a setup is tough to sit through for 2 hours and 45 minutes. It didn't feel like 2 hours and 45 minutes anyway, the first Dune, but you could tell it was building worlds, it was setting things up. Well, Dune Part Two doesn't have that. It's already got it all set up. So it does have character embellishment, which takes some screen time, but mostly, as Villeneuve has said himself, it's an action movie. And it's a big action movie, a huge action movie. And it feels like, as you're watching Dune Part Two, I was thinking it reminded me of The Empire Strikes Back. Not in any way, shape, or form creatively, but because Empire Strikes Back was better than Star Wars. And this is better than the first part of the film. The only problem I had with it, this is just on me, is that I kept thinking, wait a minute, I thought that character died. Well, what I forgot is that I've read the book, and the book is spread between the two movies. So the first part of the Dune movie was the first part of the book. The second part that is out now is the second part of the first book.
Okay, now let me ask you this. You read the book.
Yes, I did.
However many seconds ago it was.
It wasn't that long ago, because I wanted to, well, it was when the movie came out in 2021 when I read it. So that wasn't that long ago.
How did the ending of the second movie mirror, more or less, the ending of the book?
Yes. It's a very Villeneuve is very smart in this. He is sticking as close to the book as he possibly can.
Okay.
And that's essential when you have a book that's the size and the sales of which are those of Dune. I mean, Dune is Lord of the Rings big. It's huge, and it's not an easy read, by the way. Dune it's kind of challenging because there's all these various houses and all these various characters. It's like Game of Thrones in space, which is unfair to say, because you should say, well, Game of Thrones is like Dune in medieval times, because Dune was, first. What did I read somewhere? I read somewhere somebody was mad about that. It's just Game of Thrones. It's like, it was so far before Game of Thrones that no, it's not Game of Thrones. Made me mad. But anyway, the cast of Dune, I want to go through this cast, because this cast is absolutely stunning. And the performances are just terrific. So let me pull up the cast listing here on this. The writing is great. The soundtrack, Hans Zimmer, mind blowing. And it's like the Sandworms. You shake when that's music is going on. I love that.
Hans Zimmer? Didn't Hans Zimmer have something to do with the, I might be wrong, but
Hans Zimmer's a legendary score writer. He's been doing it for 20 or 40 years.
Did he have something to do with the TV series Miami Vice? Who did the
no,
the music?
That was,
I thought that was Hans Zimmer.
That was, I can't remember the guy's name. Mike something. Miami Vice theme. Jan Hammer.
Oh,
Jan Hammer.
Okay.
So
it's his brother.
His brother with a completely different name.
Yeah. Okay.
Jan Hammer and Hans Zimmer. I guess the same
ER at the end.
And they have the same syllables.
Yeah,
so anyway, the cast in this, Timothée Chalamet. I feel bad for Timothée Chalamet because he's having a really rough year. The poor kid, he's trying to work, terrible. And he did that Wonka movie, and it was the biggest hit of last year, and I did Dune Part Two, and it's probably going to be the biggest hit of this year. Yeah, you know why? Because he's freaking awesome. Kid is amazing. Why am I calling him a kid? Because I'm an old man. I got a beard now. But he's just amazing. And my only concern for him is that what are they going to want him to do next? They're going to want him to do Wonka 2, and they're going to want him to do Dune 3. And I'm sure there's other things he wants to do, But right now, the world's his oyster. He can write his own tickets. So, Timothy, get out there and do that. Zendaya stars as Chani. And don't blame me for these names, by the way. Timothy was Paul Atreides. Zendaya is an actor who I've always thought is a little overrated. It seems like anytime she's in something, she gets an award, and it's like, well, she was good. She is good, but I'm not sure she's award good. She's pretty impressive in Dune Part Two because she gets to play a character that's in love, that feels as though she's being betrayed, and she's a warrior at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And for those three traits to blend together in one character, she's very impressive. So she's excellent in Dune Part Two. Rebecca Ferguson stars as Jessica, who is Paul Atreides' mother. She also is fantastic in this, and kind of eerie the way that not only that she is folding into the world of the Dune Twos, but how she's manipulating it. And she's a very interesting character. I'm looking forward to seeing more from her. She's almost creating the world herself by doing things that she's a witch that she's not supposed to do. And it's kind of interesting there. Javier Bardem, he plays Stilgar, and I just have this to say to you about him. Javier Bardem. The guy's incredible. And he gets to play a character who is a complete and utter believer that Paul Atreides is the chosen one. And not many other people believe that, but he sticks to that because he sees the prophecy coming true, where others, especially Zendaya, for example, are denying it. Josh Brolin is Gurney Halleck. Gurney is a warrior, and Brolin's a perfect pick for that because he's big and gruff and pulls it off nicely.
Look at the character he played in Deadpool.
Exactly. Yeah. He's perfect for that as well. And again, these are huge names in showbiz. Austin Butler, the guy who played Elvis Presley in the Elvis movie. My concern with Austin Butler was that Elvis was all he was ever going to be able to play because he was so good as Elvis. It's like, is he really acting or is that just who he is? And in subsequent interviews to promote Elvis, he was still using his Elvis accent. And I'm all, yeah, this guy wasn't much of a stretch for him. Let me just say I was wrong because he is almost unrecognizable in Dune 2. He is a vicious killer and psychotic, and he nails it. And I also helped him. My son told me I was an idiot because he's also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I didn't even realize it.
What did he play in that?
He played was it Tex? I think he played Tex.
Oh, is he the guy that
Brad Pitt beats up?
Yeah, because he stuck a knife in the tire.
That
was him?
That's yes. So yeah.
That was a great scene too.
So I was dead wrong. Yeah, it was a great scene. Florence Pugh plays Princess Arulin. She also is very terrific in a smaller role. But we're talking Oscar caliber actors here. Dave Bautista plays Beast Raban.
Oh, he's great.
And he is great. Dave Bautista is a lot like John Cena. Both of those guys I didn't have a lot of faith in when they first started. I thought, oh, here's a couple more Arnold Schwarzenegger wannabes or The Rock wannabes. But boy, they both turned in terrific careers. I love John Cena. I love Dave Bautista. I love Dave Bautista's gumption when they were going to fire, was it James Gunn from the Guardians of the Galaxy movie in a cancellation attempt? They're going to try to cancel him. Dave Bautista said, if he doesn't do Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I'm not doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And eventually they got James Gunn on and they got that movie done, and it's supposed to be a terrific movie. I'm going to watch it very soon.
I like that when you have an actor, and Dave Bautista is not the first person to do that, but where you have an actor or group of actors who go to the producers and say, if this person doesn't get to either direct or play this part or whatever, I'm walking.
Yeah. And especially when it's politics or studio politics. It's like, really, come on, guys. It's crazy. It's different when, for example, Justin Lin was the original director of Fast 10. And you can guess who he bumped heads with, and he quit. And, that's too bad because Justin Lin is a fine director. But anyway, moving on. Christopher Walken plays the Emperor.
Nice.
Just like Javier Bardem, you just say, it's Christopher Walken.
Does he do Mo Cowbell?
He does not. That would be inappropriate for this film.
Yeah, but yeah. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about,
Google it. Just Google Christopher Walken cowbell. John doesn't need to explain the scene, but just Google it.
You got to watch the clip.
It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Lea Seydoux plays Lady Margot Fenring. Again, terrific actor and a possible Academy winner. Stellan Skarsgård plays Baron Harkonnen under a ton of makeup because He's a filthy, disgusting pig murderer. And he's so huge that they have to type. There's a device that is like an anti-gravity device on him that floats him around because he can't walk. He's a evil man. He's terrific in it. Those Skarsgårds, they're kind of good actors.
Yeah.
Because he is the father of the two other Skarsgård, the guy who plays it, and
the guy from
Alexander.
True Blood?
Yes, that's right. Charlotte Rampling.
Oh, nice.
Plays Reverend Mother Moham. This is what I will say about Charlotte and other actors in the same kind of roles that she has. They're very brave and serious actors. And here's why. Their faces are covered almost completely through the entire movie. You never see their faces except through this thick veil, because they're the witches, and you're not supposed to see their faces. And, a lot of actors say, why am I playing any role where they can't see my face? But they do in this one. And I'll tell you, I saw Charlotte Rampling in that, and I saw enough of her face through the veil, and I thought, is that Charlotte Rampling? And sure as heck it was. So she's a legend, and been around for a long time, and collected a lot of awards and stuff. So good to see her.
Wasn't she in one of the seasons of Dexter?
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think she was.
Maybe.
She was like a psychologist or a psychoanalyst or something like that.
That sounds like a part she would do. I don't know how far back Dexter would be, but I'm looking at her IMDb right now. She was in Broadchurch, something that I know you've watched. Look at that list of films. It's just insane. She was in Rio Sex Comedy. Never heard of that.
She was an Angel.
Yeah, I don't see Dexter, but I may have skipped over because I'm going through it pretty quick. But anyway, she is terrific. And anyway, look at that. That's just the main cast. Those people are some serious acting power, and they are all great in Dune 2. So this is my final advice about Dune 2. Go see it in a theater. See it in the biggest screen you can possibly see it on. See it on IMAX if you can. Bite the bullet, pay the $25. I know when I saw that ticket, I was like, oh my God, $25 for a movie. I'm glad I paid it. I'm so glad that I paid it because it's an event.
How much was your popcorn and your soda?
It was free because I got my son to buy it. So it was absolutely free. But yeah, Dune 2 is everything that it's set up. By the way, I want to look at this real quick. And I'm sorry again, folks, because I didn't have this pulled up, but this is a big deal as well, because it's not just me that's raving about Dune 2. It's getting rave reviews everywhere. And I don't know why my internet is so slow this morning, but it is. 94% good reviews so far on Rotten Tomatoes with an audience score of 95%. What does that tell you? That tells you that is a great, great movie. So I'll give you the critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes. Visually thrilling and narratively epic, Dune Part 2 continues Denis Villeneuve's adaptation of the beloved sci-fi series in spectacular form. That's the right word, spectacular, because it really is spectacular.
Big question. The actor, what was his name? He played Elvis. What was his name again?
Austin Butler.
The character that he played, is that the same character that Sting played in the TV production?
No, it wasn't a TV production.
Oh, that was right. That was
a theatrical film.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was television. But no. It was just a one-off. It wasn't like a part 1, part 2.
It was just a one-off. Yeah. David Lynch directed that, and there's horror stories about that all over the place. So, yeah, Austin Butler played Charles Watson in that, and was that Tex? Was that his nickname? I don't remember. But the fact that I'd seen him in that and didn't realize it was another indication of how good he was as Elvis Presley. So I got to tell you, Dune 2, I was on the hold yesterday for an hour and a half with Spectrum, getting my bill lowered because it was insane. And still insane, by the way, but less insane. And I almost told the guy, hey, I saw Dune 2 last night. Just wanted to talk about it because it's so good.
By the way, I was right. Charlotte Rampling was in one season.
So she was
at least one season of Dexter.
Yeah, she's terrific. She really is, and it was good to see her in this as well. In other less fortunate news,
before you go any further,
sorry, I'm being interrupted.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, but that's me. Guess what I watched on TV the other night?
Jaws Revenge.
Nope.
Oh.
Dune Part 1.
Oh, the original.
Guess
Not,
what
not
I-
the original, the first one.
Yeah. Guess what I watched yesterday in the movie theater?
Did you see Dune? Did
Dune
you?
Part 2.
So you saw both of them, Mark.
Yeah.
Oh, well, why didn't you
And
say something?
Because I didn't want to interject.
And
in
how
what you were
do you do? What is your opinion of my opinion?
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you.
It's stunning.
It was stunning. Now, you remember when I asked?
I'm so glad that you're paying. I know you're paying the small theater, but you're actually paying money to go see the new movies in the theater.
And not only that, I paid $7.50 for a large popcorn with the intentions of getting it refilled. I didn't even finish the first bag.
You know what? I didn't either. And that tells you something else, because when John and I went to see Flowers of the Killer Moon, I finished my popcorn. But that movie was 3.5 hours long.
I finished my first one.
That is true. Real quick by dumping it on the floor. But I did not finish it in Dune. And I don't know if it was because I was so riveted. I mean, I was riveted by Killers of the Flower Moon as well. But I guess it's just 45 minutes longer. So that helps. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So you saw it at the Regency out here.
Yeah, our corner theater.
And how was the presentation?
I got to tell you, I really enjoyed it. I really did. It was in Theater 2, was not one of the big ones, which really surprised me.
Yeah, that is a surprise.
Because I believe Theater 1 and Theater 6 are the big ones.
What big is relative, by the way. What was in those theaters?
I don't know.
That's just strange to me. I mean, maybe Dune was in one of those theaters as well, because sometimes they duplicate.
I know Wonka is still showing there.
Yeah.
Which might have been one of those. And what else is showing there? Boys in the Boat, Drive Away Dolls, Wonka. And that's why I was surprised. Why wasn't Dune Part 2 in one of the bigger theaters?
Maybe it was. Maybe it was in one of the theaters in just a different time, because sometimes they duplicate. Sometimes they have the same movie in two theaters.
That's a good possibility.
Yeah.
Because I did go to a matinee showing, which started at 2:20.
Oh.
And according to what I'm looking here today, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 showings. So
it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be,
because at almost 3 hours long,
Mhm.
that's 18 hours. And that's got to be. So that's what it is. It's on 2 screens. I can't imagine why they don't have it on a small screen, but it's not a small screen either. It's a decent theater.
Yeah.
They have digital projection there.
Mhm.
So some people only film. I get that. But at the same time, a digital projection is always the same.
Mhm.
It's never changing, because you don't get broken film and things like that. The IMAX print is an IMAX print.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was 70 millimeter IMAX or not, but I saw a picture online, and you can Google this too, of the Dune 2 platter. It's a lot of film, dude. It's a lot of film. But yeah, so I'm glad you went and you agree. It's just epic.
Because I did not read the books. I don't know the book. What I was surprised at in all the fight scenes, and I don't mean the hand-to-hand scenes, which is pretty much what all the fight scenes were.
Yeah.
But I don't remember seeing anybody pulling out, except for what's on those helicopter type Dragonfly.
Those are so cool.
Oh yeah. I never saw like ray guns or blasters, lasers. They fought with swords and knives.
Well, that's because of the shields. The shields will prevent ray guns and things from shooting you.
That's right.
But the blades get through.
Yeah.
So that's why they're fighting.
Okay, that explains that.
See, it's all in there. It's just amazing what is in that.
Okay.
That mammoth movie.
Then why didn't the Empire, for lack of a better word, why weren't they using ray guns? Because the other people, the colonists, for lack of a descriptive word,
the Fremen.
Yes, the Fremen. Thank you. I couldn't remember their name. Why weren't? Because they didn't have those ray things or those shield generators.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
No, here's what I do know. There's a reason for it.
Oh yeah.
And it probably explained in the book, but it's been 2 years since I read the book. And as I said, it's a pretty challenging book. And my son, who's read all of the Dune books, told me, just read the first one. He goes, yeah, if that was challenging, the first one was challenging for you, just stick with that one. So I will.
Now I wanted to wait until you finished talking about it before I told you that I watched it. I walked away from after it was over, and I even heard somebody else in the theater said, "Oh, there's going to be a third one." Do you think they will tie it up?
It depends on this. It depends on how this movie does at the box office.
But then
because they have tied it up. The books, that pretty much ends where the book ends. But things happen beyond that in subsequent books. I know that Denis Villeneuve wants to do a third one, but he said he's not even really thinking about it at this point, even though Hans Zimmer is already working on the score for the third one. Score is incredible. It's just it's so simple, but just, it's so powerful. So yeah, they want to do another one. It depends on how this does at the box office. The good news is it looks like it's off to a strong start. The studio is saying that they expected it to be about $65 million over the weekend. Now it looks like it'll be at least 75 million. And some people are saying it might hit 100 million, which would be impressive for a movie that's 2 hours and 46 minutes long.
Well, they got my $7.
So yeah, they got my 50 because I paid for the tickets for my son and I. But and again, I'll do it again in a heartbeat. And we've already set a date for our next journey to Valencia for Godzilla Kong.
So I was going to mention, that's something else I wanted to talk to you about. I saw the trailer for that. Oh, that looks so good.
Now, did you see that? I think the second trailer, because the second trailer smartly has a lot more Godzilla in it.
Apparently so.
Yeah. And it should. I mean, it's Godzilla. I know that Kong is big too, but Godzilla is my part of that. And I was a little disappointed with the first trailer because I'm like, Godzilla's hardly in it. It's like, he's like in one scene. And then this new trailer is like, oh, there he is. He's all over the place. But there was one line that I thought really ticked me off. And fellow Godzilla fans, you're with me on this. They said that that one scientist says Godzilla and Kong sense something they're afraid of. Godzilla's not afraid of anything.
Then apparently I did see the third one because I remember that line.
The third what?
The third trailer.
Oh, I think it's only the second trailer.
Oh, okay. Then that's the one I saw.
If there's lots of Godzilla in it, yeah, and that was it. It was in that trailer. But Godzilla's not afraid of anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, don't even go.
And apparently neither is Kong.
It's stupid. Well, Kong's he's just big monkey.
Yeah, that's true.
I love those cartoons. There are a lot of them, like newspaper cartoons, and it said, well, what would really happen in Godzilla Kong? And you've got Godzilla over here, and you've got Kong over here, and there's only 3 frames. The second frame is Godzilla using his heat ray on Kong, and the third one is this pile of burning fur. But Kong's got that axe that he holds up to prevent that from happening.
I also saw the Kevin Costner Western trailer, and for the life of me, I can't remember what the name of that
Horizon.
movie is. Horizon.
Yeah,
I liked it. I'm looking forward to that one because
did it really excite you? Because I thought,
I grew up watching Westerns, whether it was on TV, because of episodic television back then, or going to the movies and watching a good John Wayne movie about a Western. I love Westerns. And when I saw that trailer, I'm going, oh, great.
2 movies in like 3 months. I think it's July and September or something like that. Both of them are part of the Horizon story. I was very excited about it too, because I'm like you. I like Westerns. I wish there were more Westerns. But it didn't do anything for me. I was like, oh, it looks okay. But it's just the trailer. I still have high hopes for it. What I also love about it, though, is that here's what's happening with it. Do you remember when Waterworld was first being made and what its nickname was? Kevin's Folly.
That's right.
And Waterworld did okay, but didn't do great. It kind of tanked. And then The Postman was being produced. And what did they call it? What was his nickname?
Probably pretty close to the same.
Kevin's Folly. And now Kevin Costner walks away from Yellowstone, which is the biggest hit he's had in decades. He walks away to make this movie. That's why he quit Yellowstone, so he can make this movie. And what do they call this movie? Kevin's Folly. But will it be? I mean, let's look back. Waterworld is now considered a cult classic. The Postman is now considered a cult classic. Maybe Horizon has two possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
It can be good enough to go on to win a Best Picture like Dances with Wolves did, even though Dances with Wolves is a movie that has not stayed the test of time. Most people are very disappointed with that movie nowadays. But it could go on and win Best Picture and some awards, or it can not do very well and still become, in a few years, a cult classic. So who knows what it'll be? I don't have any clue. I'm anxious to see it because I'm a Costner fan, even though I think he makes bad decisions sometimes, but that's his choice. He can make whatever decisions he wants.
That's all famous actors.
Yeah. Well, that's not all famous actors. I mean, look at Robert Downey Jr. recently. He's made nothing but good choices.
That's true.
So it's, sometimes people's ego gets in the way, and Costner is one of those guys whose ego sometimes get in the way. Sometimes it leads to some pretty incredible stuff. I'm a big fan of both Waterworld and The Postman. I know that they cost way too much money. I know that they were bloated. I know that they probably didn't do what they should have at the box office, but I like both of those movies. I am looking forward to Horizon, hoping that it's the same kind of thing. Obviously it's not going to be a science fiction movie like those are, but wouldn't it be cool if it was? What if the first one, he's there and he's just an old West cowboy, and then the Horizon is a spaceship that comes down and lands, and the next one he's fighting aliens? That'd be great.
On the ocean.
Yes. Don't do that. That was a joke, folks. That's not.
And since you mentioned The Postman, I totally forgot about it. It's not that I forgot about the movie. I guess you might say that was a Western also, considering, it's got horses in it. You got people fighting. It takes place after the Holocaust.
It was a pseudo Western. Yeah.
And it brought back Pony Express.
That's right.
That's right. So yeah, I would call that a Western.
A pseudo Western. I can see that.
A future
science fiction, futuristic Western. My favorite scene in that movie is when he's trying to find Cokes at that old broken down gas station. Everything's done. And he's in there and he hears the noise. He looks out the window and a tiger walks by, or a lion or something like that. But it's like, that just showed you how crazy things were. By the way, you should read that book. David Brin wrote the book, and it's a very good book as well. Probably a better book than a movie. But
speaking of that particular scene, I think that was in that scene. Remember when he finds the Twinkies?
Yes.
Yes, Twinkies last forever.
They don't.
My favorite, I guess, calling that a Western because the others haven't come out yet. I think he's only done 4 Westerns that I can think of. Silverado.
Right.
Dances with Wolves.
Right.
Open Range, which I totally love.
Yeah, I need to see that again.
And The Postman. Yeah, if there's others in there, I'm not sure.
Surprising considering who he is. You think he'd do more Westerns,
Yeah.
I mean, basically Yellowstone's a Western. It's just a Western
TV
soap
show.
opera.
Yeah. Which I totally enjoy that show.
My wife and I watched the first season and we thought it was ridiculous and we stopped watching it. And then everybody started watching it. And so we keep telling ourselves, well, maybe we should watch the first season again and give it a shot. But I mean, here's the thing. We used to watch shows like Dynasty and Dallas, and that's all that Yellowstone is. It just happens to be a cable version of Dynasty or Dallas. It's one of those big soap opera kind of things. And maybe we should just enjoy that instead of picking apart for that.
For the longest time, for me to go see a movie or even a television show, I would know how certain things were done. And that's because I used to work in the business. And that, in a sense, it kind of spoiled a movie or television show for me.
Which is why I don't watch
but I finally got over it.
DVD extras, because I don't want to know how they did things. But anyway, go ahead.
No, that's what I was saying. Do you remember what the first Kevin Costner movie you ever saw?
Yes, it was Rocket something. What was that Kevin Costner movie?
I don't recall.
Not that one. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm not right about the. Hold on. I know. See, this is the beauty and the curse of a live broadcast is that we don't know something, we can look it up at Google.
Mhm.
Kevin Costner, and that movie was Bottle Rocket. That was it, Bottle Rocket.
Okay. I don't think I saw that one. But the first Kevin Costner movie I remember, it was one of two. It was either Fandango, which it was like a coming of age, and the other one was
I might be wrong about Bottle Rocket. By the way,
my mind just went totally away, which wouldn't be the first time it's gone totally away. Let's see. There's Fandango, and
I think I was wrong about Bottle Rocket. I think it was Fandango.
Okay. And
yes, it was Fandango.
I guess the other one would have been Silverado.
Silverado is one of those Westerns that if you squeezed all the cliches from it, you'd have a full bottle. But that's what everybody wanted at that time. And it's not a real Western. It's not an authentic Western by any stretch, like Dance with Wolves was purported to be. But that's Bottle Rocket I was thinking about, is Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson. Wasn't even close. Anyway, but I mean, it's a huge hit. It's like on the same level as Tombstone. Tombstone's one of those movies that, it's just
Which do you think was more accurate, Tombstone or Wyatt?
I don't think either one's accurate. Wyatt Earp. Wait a minute, are you throwing me in a loop here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because we were talking about,
because that's another Western that Kevin Costner did.
There you go. I pulled that up. Yeah. I don't know that either one's accurate. They're not meant to be accurate. They're meant to be entertaining, and that's what you always got to remember when you're watching about a movie with real characters. It's like that. It's like the movie Hidden Figures. I love that movie so much. I thought that was a great movie. I read the book. It was not the same. Completely different take on a lot of things, and things that were weren't in the book that were in the movie. They made up for the movie to make the movie more entertaining. So don't take that as gospel. You can't. So I don't know, if I had to guess, I'd say that Wyatt Earp was probably much closer. But I wouldn't say it was true, and by the way, who knows? Everything's there is just weird. So
some of the stuff that I've been posting online are interviews with that were
vampire?
Taken at the time of Tombstone, because it shows the actors that they're talking about.
Yeah.
In their costumes for the movie. And it's they're not talking as their character, they're talking as themselves.
Yeah, sound bites probably for promotional.
The movie. Yeah. And it's like, wow, really? That's interesting. So when I come across one of these, I repost it.
My favorite Western of recent years was Appaloosa. I loved Appaloosa. It's just terrific. So if you haven't seen that, dig it up. It's written by my favorite author, Robert B. Parker. The book that it was based on, and it's terrific. It's really good.
I saw that one. Isn't that the one with
Ed
Harris?
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
That's
and yes, I want to. Who plays his deputy? I can't remember.
I can't either.
I do want to see that movie again.
That was a great movie. Ed Harris, Appaloosa. Oh, Viggo Mortensen.
Okay.
Yep, they play Virgil Cole and Everett Hitch, and there's like 7 novels I think out featuring those characters.
Speaking of Viggo Mortensen, movie that he did, which I really, really enjoyed, Hidalgo.
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
and Viggo is one of my favorite actors. Yeah. He does some really weird stuff.
That you might say it's a Western, but doesn't take place in this country.
Viggo Mortensen in
Hidalgo.
No, I'm looking up Cronenberg.
Oh, sorry.
Because I'm going to tell you people a movie not to watch unless you're very Crimes of the Future. Don't watch that unless you want to be deeply disturbed afterwards. But by the way, great movie. All right, moving on to something else here. We lost Richard Lewis, and that is very sad. Richard Lewis has been a staple for so many years of comedy. He was in Curb Your Enthusiasm, close personal friend to Larry David. They were in school together. And
I didn't know that.
They were in school together and went through their whole lives being professional partners and things like that. He was in many of the seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is in his final season now, and he was in that final season as well. He looked a little frail, but he was still funny because he's one of those guys that couldn't help but to be funny. But Larry paid tribute to him on Twitter, and this is the kind of thing that'll just make you sob. And that's Larry's words, not mine. Larry David wrote, Richard and I were born 3 days apart in the same hospital, and for most of my life, he's been like a brother to me. He had that rare combination of being the funniest person and also the sweetest. But today he made me sob, and for that, I'll never forgive him.
That's touching.
Heartfelt. Yes, very much so. And so anyway, I mean, Richard Lewis did television series. He had a couple of movies that he did. He was always that guy. People tend to compare him with Woody Allen because he had that same kind of neuroticism, but he did it in a different way than Woody. He did it with this self-deprecating way that just made him hysterical.
Was he in the last, I think it was the last movie that John Candy did, that Western, talking about Westerns again?
He might have been.
I'm thinking he was.
The John Candy Western was Wagons East.
Yes.
Richard Lewis. He was.
Yeah.
He was indeed.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Anyway, it's sad when anybody passes. He had been ill. He had Parkinson's for many years, but it was a heart attack that killed him, and he will be missed. And whenever a comic dies, it hurts just a little bit more because you always see them as happy, fun-loving people that make us laugh, even though their lives may not be that way. Like Robin Williams is a perfect example, but it hurts just a little bit more. Yeah, and it's unfortunate that Richard Lewis has passed, but at least we'll have all those episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm's been on the air for 24 years.
Wow.
And, like I said, many seasons feature Richard Lewis, and whenever he and Larry are on screen, you can tell that they're friends, that this isn't just a working relationship. You can just tell from their chemistry. And many of the people in Curb Your Enthusiasm are like that. But anyway, that's just wanted to mention that briefly because Richard Lewis was and is terrific in Curb Your Enthusiasm and other things as well. Jamie Lee Curtis, how's this for something important? She credits him, Richard Lewis, with getting her sober.
Wow.
That's big.
Yeah.
That is big. And, there's nobody more successful than Jamie Lee Curtis these days. She turned her life around big time. So more power to him. So anyway, just wanted to say a quick goodbye, farewell to Richard Lewis.
Do you realize for people who believe in heaven, who believe in God, Christ, and all that, who believe in heaven, do you think all these comedians who we've lost are up there making the angels laugh? I mean, I know that sounds kind of weird the way I'm saying that, but okay.
Who are you asking? Because I don't qualify as one of those people.
But I didn't say you did.
No, but you were. That's why I'm asking who you asked.
Well,
for those people,
I'm asking the Elvis clock behind you.
Okay, Elvis, maybe, yeah. Let's see what else we got. Superman Legacy is the new Superman movie being written and produced by written and directed by James Gunn. It will be in theaters on July 11th, 2025. I'm excited about a Superman movie because I am a Superman fan. I think that's a great character. What bothers me is I hope we don't have to go through the origin again. How many times do we have to see a Superman movie where the first half hour is wasted on what we already know? We know where he came from. We know all about his father, Kal-El. We know about Krypton, his planet. Do we need to see that again? I don't want to.
They might do it simply because there's a different actor.
But they don't need to. It's not necessary. We know all about. Start in the middle of the movie. Start not in the middle of the movie. Start in the middle of his story. He's already Superman. He's doing something. Let's do it that way. And I don't know what James Gunn's plan is, but please don't make us sit through that again.
Okay, I know it's DC, but it would be so cool.
Spider-Man.
No.
Oh,
if Deadpool showed up in it.
It's always cool when Deadpool shows up anywhere. So, here is the cast, by the way. The cast is shaping up rather nicely. You've got David Corenswet, who's playing Superman and Clark Kent. You've got Rachel Brosnahan from The Amazing Mrs. Maisel. She's Lois Lane. You've got Isabella Merced as Hot Girl. You've got Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. Who's Guy Gardner?
I don't know.
He's the Green Lantern.
Oh, that's right.
There's we'll skip that one because it's a rumor. Skylar Gazondo plays Jimmy Olsen. You've seen him. He's terrific. Anthony Kerrigan, who is amazing in Barry, is playing Rex Mason. Edie Kathigi, sorry if I mispronounced that, is Mr. Terrific. Wendell Pierce is Perry White.
Oh, he's good.
And that guy's a great choice for Perry White. Yeah, he's a great choice.
Suits.
Yes, and other things. Yeah, Wendell Pierce is amazing. So good for him in that. He's Perry White. Sarah Sampaio is Eva Tessmacher. I will never, as long as I live, forget Gene Hackman screaming, Miss Tessmacher. This never. And so it's a great cast. And James Gunn is a huge Superman fan. So hopefully he will get this movie nailed. Just please. And here's what the synopsis is. Follows the titular superhero as he reconciles his heritage with his human upbringing. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and a brighter tomorrow in a world that views his kindness as old-fashioned. Doesn't sound like we're going to start with the origin story. Sounds like this is almost a character study of Superman. I'm intrigued.
I would really like to see a Superboy movie because I don't think, unless they did it one of the earlier movies, I don't remember them ever showing Clark Kent when he applies for a job at the post office or at the newspaper. They may have done that in the first one.
I think that they did with the Christopher Reeve version.
They might have, but I would really like to see a movie that is strictly Superboy. I mean, they did a TV show, or well, at least one, Smallville, but I just think that would be interesting.
I don't know if people will go see it. They have to be very careful right now because DC is struggling. DC is struggling to get a movie that's they've got Batman. And the Batman 2 is coming out sometime soon as well. So the last Batman movie with Robert Pattinson was amazing. So
is he rumored to play?
Oh, he's back in it. He's playing it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's playing it again.
Yeah, I didn't think it would work. I was wrong.
Yeah, people tend to undervalue both of those actors because of Twilight, and both of them are terrific. They're both really good. And Pattinson, if you haven't seen The Lighthouse with Dafoe and Pattinson, you got to see that movie. It's weird, but it's worth watching. Anyway, so the title has changed though. It's no longer Superman Legacy. It's now just Superman.
Oh, okay.
So that's one thing that's changed. All right, a couple more things I want to burn through here real quick, and then we'll get going on here. Johnny and I and my family and anybody else who's smart enough have been watching Resident Alien for 3 seasons now. Why doesn't Alan Tudyk have an Emmy for every season?
Oh, yeah.
He plays an alien who comes to Earth, takes over the body of a doctor, and infiltrates this very small town in Colorado. And he's there to destroy the world, but he kind of falls in love, and not necessarily a romantic way, with one of the characters. And the very thought of her dying makes him stop his destruction of the Earth, and then stop all the other aliens who are coming to destroy Earth because he doesn't want anything to happen to her. Love that about it.
Alan Tudyk, the first thing I remember seeing him in was Firefly.
Oh, really? Yeah. He's been around for a while.
The pilot.
He was. Yep.
And I've seen him guest star in several TV shows.
Always been a fan of Alan Tudyk, and he's so perfect for this show because he's got that comedic edge that he twists into this alien character, and he's hysterical. It's just so fun to watch. And the best thing about Resident Alien is that it's not just his character that's interesting. All of the characters are interesting. They all have relationships with other people. They all have their own problems. They all have their own answers. And the sheriff is this big goofy guy who doesn't understand anything, but thankfully he's got a deputy who's smarter than he could ever hope for.
Yeah.
So Resident Alien is funny. It's well written. There's a kid in it, and I just closed the window. I'd give you his name. The problem with some of these shows is that they have children in them, and the children are just annoying. And as John and I were discussing earlier, there was one child in this show that was very annoying. But this kid is the only person in town who actually sees the alien
as the alien.
Because he's got a disguise on that's like a mental disguise when he's the doctor. And I love the fact he chose to be a doctor because he said, how hard can it be? I'm 10,000 times smarter than you. Figured it out. But that kid is not annoying. He's really good in this show. And he and the alien kind of become friends with a love-hate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And they work great together. And I just like, that's important to state because sometimes it's like, the kid's ruining the whole show. He doesn't. He's an important part of the show. It's on Sci-Fi.
Also, first 2 seasons are on Netflix.
They just dropped on Netflix.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah. So if you want to check that out, we highly recommend Resident Alien. Every time I mention it, I say Resident Evil, and I don't mean to.
I can understand that.
But it's awful close there. Finally, thing I wanted to talk about was Acme versus Coyote, or Coyote versus Acme. This was a movie that was completed. It was about the coyote from the Coyote and Roadrunner days.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a live action picture with the animation, of course, with the coyote there. Will Forte was the star of it. And they shelved it. Not going to ever be released.
Really?
And at one point they were entertaining offers for another studio to buy it. But that either fell through or they changed their mind and didn't offer it to anybody. So we are not going to see Coyote versus Acme. Will Forte said it's too bad because it's freaking awesome. He said when he first heard they shelved it, he thought, oh God, it must have turned out terrible. But then somehow he got a print of it and saw it, and he said it's great. So we're in an era where the studios have realized that if they cancel a movie, they can take a huge tax write-off. And that's what's happening. That's why they canceled Supergirl. And that's why they canceled Coyote versus Acme.
And Batgirl.
And that's what I meant, Batgirl. We're never going to see those movies.
That's a shame.
And I don't know the legality of it. Maybe one of these days they'll be released or sold somewhere. And I don't know once you take a tax write-off, I don't know what you can do with it. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what that means. But right now they're shelved and there's no indication of seeing them. And now let me ask you this. What do you think is going to happen if one or both of those movies gets leaked to the internet?
The studios will go, oh man, we could have made a lot.
That's exactly right. And thousands of people will download it illegally, but it's not, what else do you do? You can't see it anywhere else.
Hey, I saw the movie, it wasn't leaked. It was actually on, I believe it was on Prime Video, The Flash.
Oh, not that Flash.
Yeah. That was good.
No, it wasn't.
And I got to tell you, I quite enjoyed it.
It was okay. CGI was way too much.
Well, yeah, but
and not even it was, and a lot of it didn't look complete. A lot of it looked like, but I agree. It was better than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the last Bruce Wayne cameo.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. And that guy who played the lead, too bad he messed up everything because he was great in that movie.
Big question. When we were talking about Dune, now it's based on how many books?
It's one book.
One book.
The 2 Dune movies are based on one book. Yes.
Okay.
There's many other Dune books, but.
And who's the author?
Frank Herbert is his name.
Speaking of authors,
go
to Amazon.com, look up R. Scott Bolton books. You will be surprised. There's my favorite word, a plethora.
We still don't know what it means.
Of books by R. Scott Bolton. The latest, Death in the Mogul. Great read. My favorite, Dead Dick. I keep saying this. It's for me to say it's an even greater book to read. It's hard for me to pick which is my most favorite. Well, my most favorite is Dead Dick. I really enjoyed that movie. I did not want it to end, or that book.
I wish it was a movie.
Yeah. And then there's the H.B. Fisk series, which there's 3 books, which beginning with.
There is Killed by Death, Overnight Sensation, and Burner.
Oh, 3 really fantastic books. The first one I ever read that Scott Bolton has written, R. Scott Bolton, that is, has written, was Killed by Death.
Yeah.
And the last one that I was privileged to read was, of all of R. Scott Bolton books, Death in the Mogul. Now there's also is it 3 or 4? I think it's 3 of the Bruce Heller books.
3 published, the 4th soon.
So
there's a Knife Point, and there's Begin Rumble Strip, and there's Death in the Mogul.
Yes,
Bruce Heller is a detective here in Ventura.
And one of the last books that I got to read, which has not been released yet, which I really, really enjoyed, was Miller and Breeze.
Miller and Breeze needs a little bit more work, but it will be published soon. My next book is Bowling Bag in the Backseat. We were going to publish it next month, but we decided to push off because I'm going to be in Hawaii for 2 weeks in April and can't do the promotion that's required.
That means I can read it.
What?
I haven't read it yet. I haven't.
No, you haven't. That's another thing. Yeah. So the proofreaders will get their copies when I get my printer. I'm going to buy a laser printer. But anyway, that's one thing I missed from my job. I had access to a laser printer. But, because it's expensive to print 300 pages at Kinko's.
So go to Amazon.com, look up R. Scott Bolton books, order each and every one. Right now, the latest is Death and the Mogul. You're going to like it.
You can start with Knife Point, go to Begin Rumble Strip, and then end with Death and the Mogul. All right.
And if you like a really scary book, Neath.
That's a haunted house book. I keep talking to the microphone. I really should be talking to you folks, so I apologize. All right, so real quick, we're going to go through our show today. We start talking about Dune 2, doing very well at the box office, and Johnny and I both saw it, both give it big thumbs up. What's wrong?
We started with Kyle Acosta, the Duke.
I was going to save that for last to support him.
My bad.
Yeah, it's okay. So the second thing we talked about was Dune 2. Go see it, especially on the biggest screen you can find. It's well worth it. We said goodbye to Richard Lewis, from Curb Your Enthusiasm and so many other things. Terrific actor, funny man. We talked about Coyote versus Acme, or Acme versus Coyote, whichever it is, and how none of us are going to get the chance to see it, even though the star says it was really good. Resident Alien, one of the very best TV shows on right now, with another terrific cast and a very funny premise that plays out quite well. Superman, which was originally Superman Legacy, will be out on July 11th, 2025. And we have high hopes for this. And it sounds like maybe we don't have to sit through that origin again, because I really don't want to. And finally, what Johnny was talking about earlier, our buddy Kyle Acosta won the Independent Filmmakers Guild of America Award for Best Director for his film, The Duke. And we will get you all some more information about The Duke. So when it's available, you can check it out. Hopefully, I imagine it'll be on Amazon.
And once again, Kyle Acosta, congratulations.
Nice work, Kyle. We knew you could do it, my friend. He's, again, a maverick filmmaker. One of these days, I think that somebody might write a book about him and his film career, because it's very interesting how he's, doing this without a studio. Mm-hmm. He's just doing it with his buddies and some real actors too, by the way. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, what is the first name you can think of someone who started out like that?
George Romero, Francis Ford Coppola. There's Steven Spielberg.
That's where I was going. I can just see it now. I probably won't be around, but you go to one of the major studio theme parks or one of the major studios, and he'll have his own permanent office.
Kyle Acosta?
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd want it. I don't think he likes that. I don't think he likes being told what to do.
That's just it. Does Steven Spielberg?
No, but he's Steven Spielberg.
That's what I mean.
That would be awesome. That would be pretty awesome. You get Kyle Acosta to be as popular as Steven Spielberg. Okay. Anyway, as always, please visit our friends at The Grape, the House of Jazz and Spirits out in Ventura. I will tell you that my buddy Omar went there after months of my telling him to go to The Grape, and he is now in love with the place. He ordered the Bill Murray. The Bill Murray is a cocktail, folks. If you order it, they make you whatever the hell they want to, and they bring it to you. And that's your drink. So I always order because I want to see what I'm going to get this time in it. And plus, sometimes you don't know what you want to drink, so let them pick for you. Anyway, he ordered it. And what do you think he got, John?
The Bill Murray.
He got, yeah, but what do you think he got when he ordered the Bill Murray?
Oh,
he got the key lime pie.
Oh, okay.
Which is a martini they make there that is just absolutely delicious. So The Grape is located on Main Street in Ventura. Great jazz, great cocktails. Great companionship. The people there are just the best people in the world, and we highly recommend it. And so much so that I'm going to play this commercial, and we'll see you next week. What?
I just wanted to let people know some upcoming older movies that are coming to our corner theater.
Do 3 of them.
Okay. The Warriors.
Come out to play. Yay.
Oh, I quite enjoyed it. I saw that movie at your old theater.
Yeah, where somebody got killed.
Yeah. We already talked about Godzilla. Why do they call it Godzilla X Kong?
Devin explained to me that there's that in anime especially there's they use the X as a divider, so you don't say it. It's just Godzilla Kong. Now I don't know if that's the case of this director or not, but that I've just been calling it Godzilla Kong because of that. So I think that's the X is just a placeholder.
Speaking of Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams, I quite enjoyed that.
It's a great movie. Yeah. It's a great movie. That's 3.
And well, no, because not really. Because we had already talked about that one.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, this is a movie which I saw many, many years ago, probably before a lot of you were born, North by Northwest.
Oh, that'd be fun to see on the big screen.
And that's going to be at our corner theater, April 16th.
The Regency Theater, the Buenaventura Regency. Yeah, I'd like to see that again. All right, folks, again, visit The Grape. This is them playing you out. We'll see you next time. Have a great week.
Goodbye.
Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.